No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. I'm in here with the one and only Smoke DZA. How you feeling?
Really, I'm good, bro.
Feeling
Can't
good?
complain. Can't complain.
I was just in New York for the first time in a couple years, smoking big dope everywhere. What the fuck happened?
I mean, I think they got tired of doing that paperwork. Just don't make no sense.
You know what time it is right now? Look at that clock. Ah, shit, it says 4:18 up there. It says 4:20 on my phone.
But look, it's 2 minutes to 4:20, even though it's 4:20 on my clock every day.
We're right there.
Works itself out.
Yeah, but I mean, that's crazy as fuck for anybody who's had to smoke in New York over the last like 10 years. You know that it has often been extremely
Yeah, that's been the
precarious.
only thing I've ever gotten in trouble for.
Really?
Yeah, it's just letting it be stupid shit like fucking 27 grams.
Right.
Wouldn't even be 28. Take my weed, hack me up. Bullshit.
Because even though it's New York, somebody who smokes as much as you smoke, it's just at a certain point. Like, you're just not going to be able to go inside or find a little spot to do it at. Sooner or later, you're just going to smoke on the corner.
Yeah, I mean, it's like smoking a bogey at this point.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you feel, but then you forget that there's still cops that have a stick up their ass, but then all of a sudden that seems to have changed.
Yeah, because some of them smoke weed too.
You know?
I mean, at the end of the day, if what are you gonna arrest somebody that's sick that has to smoke weed? It's not like we're actually out here committing crimes with it. I mean, you know, on a black market scale, if they suspected somebody was doing distribution, I guess, then they could pair it to violence somehow and then have probable cause. But for somebody that's just casually just living their life smoking weed, it's a little pointless.
It's always seemed crazy as fuck to be worried about that. I mean, that is kind of the problem, though, is like, you know, Biggs from Rockefeller got caught up with a crazy-ass case for distributing many, many pounds over the years, whatever. It's like, to a certain extent, they can't just let everybody smoke weed because then that encourages the black market, and they don't want motherfuckers getting rich and killing each other, etc.
Right. Right. I think, I mean, you know, that should even go on out here. Like, LA is like probably a little more notorious for that, even though it's compliancy and shit going on over here on that level. But, you know, you could still get followed and whatever.
Yeah, definitely. It's just,
you know what I mean? So,
well, at this point, it is starting to kind of become where I think dealers who just sell on the black market are starting to, like, once again be sort of looked at as people who are doing illegal things, and they're trying to do so much to make it so that it's hard for those dealers to get pounds by having the tracking systems on the pounds in the official grow ops. It's like every pound you grow got to be labeled and goes to the dispensary, and they know what happened to that pound every step of the way. They know how many eighths it got broken up into, and all that shit is just them attempting to make it so it'll be really, really tough to scheme on the system and not pay taxes primarily.
I mean, that's a lot, but you know, they'll figure out a life hack.
Yeah, that's what they always tell me. Like, we'll figure it out once the system's in place, then we'll figure out how to skirt around the system.
Yeah, like everything else.
But it's weird. I don't want to be presumptuous here. I'm going to assume that you are the kind of guy who might have made some money off marijuana in his life.
Legend has it.
Allegedly.
Legend has it, allegedly.
How do you feel the game might change for somebody who is a street dealer in New York? Like, do you know about the plans for dispensaries and shit like that?
I mean, you know, I'm far removed from that because I own a brand, Smokers Club.
Right.
One of the founders and owners. And, you know, we're moving into compliancy and just doing different things in the marijuana world. So I'm not I'm not paying attention to anything black market because that's not my lane of shit. You know what I mean? So, or at least you know what's going on right now. So Smokers Club is focused on compliancy and really doing different things in the entertainment world with marijuana. So
that's interesting because I noticed that Rolling Loud, like when I look at their promotional materials, I don't really see anything weed related. And I'm pretty sure that's because they're trying to go to China. They're trying to go international where weed is looked down upon in a lot of places, and they want to be able to say, yeah, it's called Rolling Loud, but what, the music's loud. Like, they don't want to have to be caught up in being like a weed specific thing because internationally that plays a lot different.
Right. I mean, I can't really speak on what Tarek is doing on that side.
Yeah, I haven't asked him about that.
He might have a different perspective on that, but you know, I think for them is more for the experience that you could see all of these dope artists in one place at one time. Because I know that's for us, me, Johnny, Shice, like we want to give an experience where you can get that, and it's like, you know, Woodstock. It's like, you know, catered to stoners,
Right.
by stoners. So that's our, you know, spin on what we do with our shit. And, you know, we started with doing the tours and stuff around 2009, South by Southwest, and just, you know, growing. And that first show, like, we had every who's who on that. Like, Kendrick was on that show. I was on that show. Wiz, Crit, Spitter.
I think I remember
Devin
that flyer.
the Dude. Yeah, like, you know, it was a big show.
But have you ended up in situations where you're doing Smokers Club shows in places where you basically can't smoke?
Yeah. And it's like
How's that go?
oxymoron. It's like, you know, I'd be like, how you book Smoke DZA at a show where Smoke DZA can't be Smoke DZA? Right. But at the end of the day, you got to understand it's a business too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't, it's kind of weird, you know, because the fans is here to do that, and you're watching people that came to see you get kicked out because they going to spark up once you get on the shit anyway.
Right.
And, you know, sometimes I might break the rule and just do it and just be like, well, fuck it. My show is almost over anyway, so I'm going to leave with them anyway. But then sometimes, you know, you just got to respect the game. And you don't have to necessarily be smoking to give that content.
Yeah, you got to be able to be a little smart about it at a certain point and just know the spot you're in. Because, man, sometimes you are in a venue where you light up a fucking blunt and you just see, like, buzz cut ass security guards just, like, their eyes just hit you. And it's just like, they're really going to treat it like you just, like, slapped a baby right there. Like, they're going to act like you really did the worst thing ever.
Yeah, they're a bit extra sometimes. And I'm like, yo, dog, it's not even worth your job, dude.
Right.
Like, why you... Let the kids smoke.
Yeah.
Like some shows, like, or at least being on the road and watching diehard fans get put out, like either after my set or before my set, and I would be the guy to go get the fan and bring him back in.
Right.
Like, nah, let him back in. He's good. He with me. You know, just because, you know, these kids is here for a show. They here, you know, this is what we do at the end of the day. It's not like we hurting nobody, and it's not like they're underage kids either.
Right.
So, you know, if this is what we partaking in and this is our spiel, then they should be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of the world is getting a lot more open-minded to weed, but it's still, when it comes to like smaller boundaries, you're still just sort of steadily seeing things broken down. And for me, just to go back to Williamsburg and be staying in an Airbnb and to be able to be smoking on the porch and not even thinking twice about it was a very different experience. It feels like a different city because everywhere we're going in the city and shit too.
I'm smoking in Williamsburg, Adam. Yeah, you were smoking in the hood with us. It's a little different.
In Harlem,
you was in Harlem with us smoking.
But in
That's
the projects,
different.
like in a house, like in an apartment building.
Yeah, true. But still, no, you was in the hood. Like,
yeah, but I'm talking more about my days riding BMX in like 2003, 2004, shit like that, where if you fucking lit a blunt in Union Square, you were really looking around like you were breaking the law.
Yeah. I mean, it depends where you was at, but yeah. That's true.
Yeah, there's a lot of white owls getting smoked on the corner that the cops just somehow managed to
Phillies.
ignore. But is that what you're on? What do you smoke at this point?
At this point, I'm on backwoods.
Okay.
I was a Dutch master guy for a long time, and once they switched to leaf, I felt like they started making it in Connecticut.
Really?
Yeah.
It changed up that much.
Yeah, because the whole texture, everything switched up, and I was like, started making the weed taste funny.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, for me, I didn't even know that there was a blunt besides the Dutch Master for a long time.
Really?
I mean, that was just the only thing I knew of was just my homies who rode bikes just going in the store and being like, let me get a Dutch. It didn't really. I guess I knew what Phillies.
But what kind of Dutches though? The Palmers, like the cigar Dutches, or the cigarellos?
That shit with the thing that you wrap around it and everything. But I mean, I didn't really get that into smoking weed. Like I wasn't buying weed and rolling blunts myself until I moved to California in 2009. I was always just a dude who would smoke when other people were smoking, but I never really got so married to it that I had to like facilitate my own smoking until about 2009 when I moved out here.
Respectfully, I mean, living out here, you would have to partake if you're any bit of cool.
I mean, it was just an education in how to, like, smoking a lot of good weed, or we thought it was good at the time at least, like over and over and over. As soon as I got out here, man, there was a lot of very early night sleep. There was a lot of spinning out, a lot of like just getting too high to bust through that wall that you got to get past. You know, you meet like a girl all the time, be like, I can't smoke weed. I freak out. I go crazy. You know, I just didn't let that stop me. I had to break through a few of those walls.
Yeah, I mean, you know, my first few times coming out here, or not even few, still, I might smoke like some Billy Kimber or like some Luigi and just be decapitated for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But I learned to really like have some type of moderation, if that even is such a thing for me, when I got to work. Like right now, I smoked a little before I got. Like I was outside smoking before I got in here because I know it's this no smoke DZA.
Yeah,
no smoke DZA.
3 months left. There's a countdown till we
Yeah.
get a new spot where we can smoke freely.
All right, good. I can't wait. I'll be back so I can really, you know,
I don't know
conduct
if
myself the way I want to.
I don't know if I could get unpleasantly high off like spliffs or blunts, but if I take one dab, it's gonna really affect how I'm living.
Yeah. Do you dab like that?
No.
Like often?
But once in a while, somebody will bust them out. But I'm not really gonna do it unless it's like I'm probably gonna be relatively close to my bed or at the end of the night, or like I'm not really trying to just be trotting around. I ain't trying to do an interview off a dab.
I can't fuck with the dabs, man.
That's a lot.
That shit took me out the game, man.
Really?
Yeah, that's like weed basing, I call it.
Yep.
I don't even like the whole idea of it. It just creeps me out.
That is a funny effect when a regular person sees you taking a dab and they think that you're an actual crackhead.
Like, yo, like, dog, what are you doing? Like, yo, what is that shit you just put it in? You put it on there. What's the little shit that you scooped it with? Like,
that's how I felt the first time I saw somebody do it. I was
it's
really like, oh no, you're like a real drug addict.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. It's an intense form of marijuana that I don't like to indulge in. That's not my type of thing. Follow me and No Jump on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that cool shit at KushGod. And talk to me nice. I'm right back.